Hi there. In a previous video I showed you the Sensotronic System 500 and I mentioned that I would very much like to put a new top bearing in its motor. Now I've put this off for a long time because I had in my mind that it was actually a very complicated task to remove the motor from this machine. Turns out it's not as bad as I thought it was. So in this video we're going to give it a go and try and remove the motor from this cleaner. Wish me luck. Before we start, a quick overview of this particular cleaner. This is a top-of-the-line Sensotronic System 500 from 1989. And actually, it is from March of 89, which means it's actually a very early version of this particular range of cleaner. I hadn't actually realised how early this machine was. That's pretty cool. So yeah, an actual 1989 Sensotronic 89. That's pretty cool. I've owned this cleaner for a long time. I mean, a long time, probably 25, 26 years. I don't think I've actually ever done anything with it because I knew that the top bearing was dodgy. I'm going to try and demonstrate to you the problem we've got with this cleaner because I managed to find a hose, and I think this is actually the hose from this particular machine. Unusually, it's in incredibly good shape. There's no rips or tears or cracks or anything in it, and it's still very flexible. These hoses are notoriously bad for breaking. They are very rare. Just to find a hose is incredibly rare. And I'm sure this is for this machine because it's got power takeoff for the power head. This being the top of the range machine, it would have come with a Turbo 300 power nozzle. And it was unbelievably expensive. I remember seeing in a magazine dated from 1991 that this cleaner was £170 in 91. So that's, in modern money, God, that's over £400 now. It's at least £400. And with inflation as it is right now, it's going up all the time. So this was a very expensive vacuum cleaner. Let me just put the hose over here for a second. So I've got the Hoover Service Product Data book here from 91. And this does mention Sensotronic 89. I don't think this was the first book that it appeared in. I suspect the 1990 book would have been the first one that it appeared in, which I don't have, sadly, but there we go. So I just wanted to read to you a couple of sections from this book because it tells you how to get into this particular machine. So we've got, I mean, it's a huge amount of data on this cleaner. It goes on for pages and pages and pages because it was such a complicated vacuum cleaner. Just utterly bonkers. The top of the line machines, certainly, System 500 and Audio System 300 were insane. They were so advanced for their time. Just let me read you a bit from here. So we have general construction. The new 89 Sensotronic cleaner design is based on a complex main body which houses the main printed circuit board, PCB, with all other technical parts connecting to it via spades and amp tags. Hence, there are very few lead wires inside this machine. Okay. Let's just flick over to motor removal. Now this was the bit that I thought was going to be extremely complex. Bearing in mind, I think I've only ever been inside one of these machines once. And I think that was an Audio 300, never a 500. Motor removal. Place the cleaner on a flat, protected surface with the wheels uppermost. Release the Torx 10 and the 1 Torx 20 screws and lift the whole of the motor lower casing away from the main body. Remove the solid cooling pipe. This cools the module triac completely from the machine, and take the flexible air pipe off the fan housing. This monitors the air intake via the pressostat on the module. Release 3 torques 20 screws and lift the motor out of the cleaner body. So actually that's not too bad. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that, but it seems you can get in from the bottom, if you pardon the expression. So that's really good news. I'm going to keep that close at hand because I might need that. I did notice when I was lifting the machine off the shelf, it's very scratched underneath. We need to give this a really good clean. I've never cleaned it. I honestly don't think I've ever cleaned it. We've got a couple of Phillips head screws here that have just been rammed into the base of the cleaner. So somebody has obviously been in here before. Oh, I should just quickly tell you what the model number is. It's S3730. I had to try and remember that when I put it in the video description. Made in France. Fabrique en français. Oh, see, that is your actual French. Yeah, serial number 905 000 46. Good God. 000 46, the 46th machine. It's getting better and better here. Jesus. It's very, very early. Yeah, so that's how we get into it. So we know how to get into it. We will keep the book close at hand. I do just want to see if I can demonstrate to you the problem this machine's got. So we have to put it back down and plug it in. Hopefully the electronics are not knackered. Well, it's come on. There's no power switch in the machine's body. I press the bag check button. No, nothing happens. So this is all controlled via the hose. And it's a physical... Oh, boom. Okay, yeah. See, that boom sound of the motor starting is kind of an indication that the electronics are starting to fail, which is not ideal. But let's plug the hose in. It has to go in a certain way. Okay, so that's the hose in. Now, if I flick the switch on the handle, we should see something appear in the display. Yeah, that motor's not great. It's Can you hear that rumble? You're sort of looking at the display from the wrong way round where you are. You should be looking at it with the machine sort of upside down because it shows the percentage of power that's being used. Let me change around so you've got a better view. Well, it's not the easiest thing in the world to get a good view of this panel because the machine is so big. It takes up the vast majority of the space on my bench. Now, I'm going to turn it on now. And you see it says 40 on the screen. So that is actually 40% power. And if I press if you look at the controls here, so you've got a warning light, manual control, automatic, boost, and up and down. So if I press up, so that's 100% power. Then if you boost, which you won't do for some reason, oh there we go, oh, dirty contact, there we go, 120% of power. Now listen to the grumble. Yeah, that motor is not in a particularly good state. And if it gets hotter as well, on the rundown it'll go, which is a definite indication that the top bearings failed. Just to say that 120% is utter nonsense. What the electronics are doing are reducing the motor's maximum running speed. So it's not overclocking, if you like, the motor. It's reducing it to 100%. And then when you press the boost button to give you 120%, it's actually just making the motor run at full speed. So that's all it is. It's just trickery and nonsense. So let's try and get inside this cleaner. It's just so long. It's very hard to fit it into the camera field of vision. But I think what we need to do is just remove all of the screws that are shown at these points here, and the lower body should come away. So let's take out these nasty Phillips screws first. And with those gone, we can start to attack these other screws. I think this is a T20, I think. Will that fit? No, that won't fit. And we've got, what have we got here? No, this isn't going to work, is it? No, that's no good. What about this one? Is that any better? No. Oh, okay, that drives that one. Right, so that's the, doesn't even say. Oh, brilliant. Cheap rubbish. So we need a smaller driver for these smaller torque screws. So let me find one of those. Yeah. Okay, hopefully this will fit in all the areas I need to go. So just let me undo all of these screws. And that's every screw I can see removed. So I think, according to the book, we should be able to lift this up. Oh, let me come out from that end. Okay. Oh, there we go. Right. Ah, ha, 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 ha. There we are. We are inside. Good Lord, look at the size of that screw. Holy crap, look at it. It's massive. I better leave that in there so I know where it goes. Okay, let's get rid of this base. Oh wow, look how dirty that is. Yeah, that's pretty dusty. It's no wonder the motor's in a bit of trouble. Right, let's put that over there. And here's our motor. So, the book said, I'm just going to refer to the book a second, so I know I'm doing the right thing. I'll be right back. Right, so the book says, remove the solid cooling pipe, which cools the module triac, completely, and take the flexible air pipe off the fan housing. Release 3 Torx 20 screws. Oh, yeah, I can see those, actually. It was 1, 2, and there must be another one somewhere. Oh, I think it was probably down there, but it's been removed. We still lift the motor out of the cleaner body. So there must be a connector on the top of the motor. So let's remove the triac cooling pipe. So that comes out like so. We'll put that over there. And remove the air tube from the fan casing. But to be very careful not to disconnect that from the other side, because getting that back on would be a nightmare. And there are 2 T20 screws. I think that's this one and its sister screw, which is on the other side here. So we take those off. And it looks like at some point there was another screw here, but that has gone. So somebody's obviously been in here before. And I don't think it was me. There we go. This those 2 screws. So now, according to the book, we should be able to lift this motor out. Okay. Let's, oh, yep, it's coming. Okay, good. Oh yeah, look. Ah, that's how it interfaces with the main PCB. Look, there's 3 tags on the top there that go through. Let me bring you around so you can have a look as you're flying through the air. There we go. So there's the main PCB. You can actually see the PCB there with the 3 connectors on it. And if you look here, as the book said, there's a load of wiring that runs around the machine. So I think that interfaces with the top cover. So that's how the PCB gets the data from the hose. It runs down there and around down into the guts of the machine, down there somewhere, which we can't see. So good, we've got the motor out. So I think we should take it apart and have a look at it. But now that we've got that big bulky body out of the way, we can actually have a look at the motor. And under this massive cover, I can see that it is exactly the same as a standard Sensotronic motor, which is really good news. Ooh, it does feel very rough, and I can definitely feel play in there. Yeah, the top bearing is in trouble. I hope the top of the motor's okay. Yeah, can you hear that? Definite sign that the top bearings failed. Right, so we need to try and get into this. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark it. So I'm going to put a black line there, black line there, so I know that these two have to line up. Because this is quite a large piece of plastic. So I reckon if we take this out, take this plug out, is that going to come? Oh, is it clipped in? I think it might be clipped in. Oh yeah, it is. Screwdriver. Oh, I've broken it. Oh, for God's sake, idiot! It should be all right. It'll it'll go back in there. Okay. I might put some glue on there actually, just to keep it in when it goes back together. Oh, there's always a risk of breaking 30 plus year old plastics, isn't it? And then we can remove the thermal overload control from here. Oh my goodness, look at this. How does this, how are you gonna, oh okay, yeah, I see. I think I'm going to remove that wire from the TOC, like so. And then we should be able to get in here. Now, I'm going to need a really big Torx bit. These are huge. These, oh God, see, I don't use this one very often, so it's difficult to get out. Come on. Is that big enough? No. Need a slightly bigger one, that one. Ah, there we go. That's the boy. Right, let's keep that one to one side because we need that for the body. And with those undone, we should be able to lift this cover off the motor. Right, okay, so now I need to disconnect these wires. There we go. Okay, so that's the motor exposed. Let's have a quick look at the commutator. Well, the comm doesn't look too bad. It looks a little bit worn, probably because of how the top bearing is worn, and it's kind of just like slopping back and forth, if you like, for want of a better word. So here's the unit that, well, the field coil with carbon brushes that we saved from the other machine. So they do actually look pretty similar, and I think we should be all right here. I think this is going to work. But what we'll do is we'll leave this video here, and yeah, in the next video, what we'll do is we will put this field coil and end frame onto this motor, reassemble the 500, and see if we've any success. So thank you for watching, guys. Always appreciate it. Please do comment, subscribe, and like. Always love hearing from you. And until the next video, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.